12:30 finish, and then lunchtime at the cafe. Oi oi. Oi oi. Oi oi.
Oi, oi.
Oi oi. So, I would like to share some information with you. So, you know, fight or flight,
Yes.
there are more.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I know that some people might be going, yeah, there's 3. Fight, flight and freeze, which you may or may not have known. There's 5. There's 5 of them. If there's more, please share. But this is, of course. And I was really like, that's interesting, especially because I identify with one of the new ones. So, would you like me to educate you?
Awesome.
It's, no,
Oh.
not really. So, you know, fight or flight
Yes.
is when you're triggered by a threat.
Yes.
And obviously it comes from like when we were in cavemen tribal times, when we had to either fight the saber-toothed tiger or we had to run from the saber-toothed tiger. So obviously there's plenty of different threats now, and nothing is ever, unless, I say nothing, it's not true, there's plenty of real threats out there.
Yeah.
But we're now triggered into these responses by things that aren't that much of a threat.
Yeah.
By things like, you know, workload and, you know, having to public speak and things like that, which weren't really an issue back in the day, you know. So they are fight, flight, freeze, flop and fawn. So fight or flight, we already know. So flight is, in a nutshell, the instinct to run away from a threat.
Yeah.
Fight is to fight back.
Yeah.
Freeze is to freeze.
And just don't do anything.
And just seize up. Flop is when you shut down.
Okay.
So your body shuts down, you can faint, you lose control.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Shut yourself.
Pass out, poo yourself, that sort of thing. And then fawn is the instinct to appease. She's twigged. Because this, I knew you'd relate.
Yeah.
So what was really interesting for me, and I knew it as soon as I read the word, I was like, I know what that is. And it's to do with abuse, sexual abuse and trauma and things like that. It's appeasing and placating.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I was like, I would have put myself in a flight. I would have thought that I was a flight person with those reduced options.
Yeah.
But I don't have an instinct to run.
Yeah.
My instinct is I'm a fawner, if ever there was one.
Yeah.
I will make friends with the man with the gun. Tell him he looks handsome.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Jude Law. What a prince you are. Your mum must be so proud. I tell you what, who's fucked you off? Who's upset you? Because I don't think it's right. You know, you're a human being with feelings, and I'm sorry that you feel this way. And actually, I want to buy you lunch. Let's have lunch. You look really sexy with that gun. That's not normal, but I was really pleased to see a little label for it, because I like things to be represented correctly.
Yeah.
And maybe there are more. Let me know. Let us know if there is a way that you respond to threat or the perception of threat that is outside of those. But anyway, some additional. So fawning already was feeling like my kind of cup of tea.
Yeah.
But then because obviously you develop these responses as children generally.
Okay.
Yeah, so you will feel the threat.
Yeah.
And you will behave in one of these 5 ways generally.
Yeah.
If you have managed to get through your entire childhood and teenage years without sensing any threat whatsoever, then it would be as an adult, but mostly it's kids.
Yeah.
So if you are, say for example, living in a house that has got like an unstable parent, volatile parent, who tells you off, has a go at you, shouts, that to a child is quite threatening. Like loud noises, kids, all babies are born with a fear of loud noises. We don't like shouting. We just don't like loud noises. We don't want, you know, how did you behave when someone came and like shouted at you?
Yeah.
Or if something kicked off, if a fight kicked off, did you barrel in and join in? Did you freeze? Did you run? Did you go, oh, stop, stop, you know? Or did you just pass out on the floor? What happened to you? Because that response is probably impacting you as an adult. And fawning, as an adult, codependency. You knew it was coming, didn't you? She ain't silly. I knew it. You knew it. And I'm laughing because I'm not codependent anymore. But information and understanding is powerful. It's so powerful. If you are identifying as a codependent person, people pleasing, yeah? Want everyone to like me, all that kind of thing. A little bit of anxiety around, but anxiety is stronger with flight, worry and anxiety.
Yes, yeah.
And you may not always sit, because I know that in certain scenarios I will run.
Yeah.
If there is, for example, I went to the boxing the other week.
Yeah.
I ran.
Yeah.
I weren't trying to appease that group of burly men with their beers and their big voices and them climbing on top. I weren't trying to make friends with anyone. I was out of there. It felt dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
There's only so much fighting a 5'2" girl can do. But I've never fought anyone unless I've really thought about it first. Like, I've punched people in the past.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm hard. I don't know if you've met. I'm a gangster. And
who?
So one was an ex-boyfriend when I was younger, like late teens, early 20s. And he was throttling his sister. And me and my sister and brother, we didn't fight each other. We didn't physically hurt each other. We were nice to each other. And he was strangling her. And she was going blue. And I was like, what the hell is happening? So I assessed the situation. It wasn't a response. I thought about it. I was like, it's going. He was like 6 foot something. And I'm like, could you get off of her, please? Like, it's not having So I just stepped back and just cracked him on the chin. It wasn't going to hurt him that much, but it shocked him and he got off her. But then the funny thing was, she was like, don't hit my brother. I was like, I didn't obviously realise that that's a normal dynamic for them. That they, obviously as kids, they used to hit each other.
Yeah.
But when you grow up and you're an 18-year-old 6 foot big bloke and she's still a little, it felt a bit weird to me. So anyway, and then the other time, one of my best friends had been going out with this bloke for a few years and they'd split up and he was really cut up about it. And I saw him out with a friend of his who was also someone that I knew in a club or whatever, and I said, oh, hello. I was like, hello to both of them. And we went in and the ex-boyfriend spat his chewing gum at me, like in my face, and then laughed at me. And I know now that he did it because he was hurt and he saw me as like, he was hurting my friend, so he sort of lashed out at me.
Yeah.
I didn't take very kindly to that.
No.
So I threw my handbag at him, but then I just looked stupid.
Yeah.
And they were all like laughing at me, and I'm like, you just spat at me. So the whole night I was stewing on it, literally for a couple of hours I was stewing on it. And then my sister said, I'm going to go and get the car, meet me outside, and all our little friends, and they all went. And I was like, just be back in a minute. And it was Ikon and Diva.
I would love it if you
Murder on the dance floor. No, but you're going to laugh at this anyway, because it was Ikon and Diva, it was joined.
In Basildon?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I was in Diva, I think, so I walked back through to where they'd been, and they're still there, and there's like a group of, like, say, 6 blokes standing there. And I tottered over, and I had a little black dress and heels on, and I went into the middle of the circle where they were all standing, and I just went crack, and I uppercutted him in the jaw, and his jaw slammed shut, and his head flew back because he didn't see me coming. And his brother sort of shoved me, and then I just tottered out, And he followed me all the way down the stairs, like shouting at me. And I walked all the way down. I stood next to the biggest bouncer I could find and stood there like that. And he went, "What did you do that for?" I went, "You spat in my face. What did you expect?" And he was like, "No, fair enough." And he went, "You've got a hard punch, to be fair." And he and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I felt better after that.
Yeah.
So I don't condone it at all. And
You're in Basildon.
I was in Basildon, but I was only in my early 20s, and I felt really like he'd humiliated me. And the reason he'd done it to me is because he couldn't have a go at his ex-girlfriend because she was strong.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Oh, shut up." He wouldn't have a go at my sister because she was strong. He picked on the weak one.
Yeah.
The one who wants to people please, and the one who went, "Hello,
Yeah.
how are you?"
Yeah.
And I thought, you're bullied. You're bullying me because he would never have done that to my sister because she would have there and then sparked him right out. He would have wished he'd never been born if he'd have done that to Claire. And I just thought, you absolute arsehole to choose me of all people to do that to. I just felt an uppercut.
Good for you.
I used to do Thai bow at the time, so I kind of good little. Don't know. I thought I started kind of like speed bump him. But yeah, I felt quite satisfied after that. But yeah, I don't condone that sort of thing. But yeah, that did happen. Why was I talking about that? That was fine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine you doing it, to be fair. But there's always the
been
future.
times when I wanted to.
Yeah. But what's your response? What do you do?
I'm the same as you. I'm a fawner, definitely.
Do you have any others?
I have had flight before. I remember I was anxious when I was younger, and I remember there was a fight going on a couple of times somewhere near where I was, and I just was straight out there. I didn't want to be anywhere near any of that. So I'm definitely flighty, and
it's a bit of a trauma response. It's not like it doesn't have to be bad trauma. But when you're young, you can experience things that as an adult you'd think would be nothing, but they can be quite traumatic.
Well, my family was very like, my parents didn't really argue. We never had any like physical drama or arguments really in our house. I mean, obviously there was stuff that went on, but nothing major. So when I was around that fight, I think that was the first time I'd ever been anywhere near an actual punch up. I was about 14, I think.
It's just really interesting to see how people behave differently, but also what it means for you as an adult, because I was interested to read the fight response. How it manifests in an adult is you expect everyone else to be perfect, you have sudden bursts of anger, you like to be in control, and so if you've got some of these symptoms that you don't like about yourself, consider that it's a response that you're being triggered into. And what is it underneath that's triggering that? Because underneath all of these responses is fear.
Yeah. And
what is scaring you right then? Like if you find that you're really sort of, you're codependent, so you're saying to someone, all your needs matter far more than mine, don't worry about me, I'm worried about you, can I get you a drink, are you okay? Like, did I upset you? I'm so sorry if I did. If you feel like you're just giving that all the time and you're like, I don't know why I'm doing it, there's fear there. You don't feel safe. I didn't feel safe in my relationship when I was codependent. I didn't feel safe. Yeah. I didn't feel at ease. I felt very triggered, and so that was my response. It's so good to have this information.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're going around, you need everyone to be perfect. You need to be in control of everything. You need to be in charge. You get these bursts of anger and you don't know why. You've got a really bad temper and you don't know why. That is a manifestation. That's a way of having your flight response as an adult. Underneath, when you have those bursts of anger, what are you scared of?
Yeah.
What's upsetting, making you feel uneasy? And the anxiety and the worry and all that is with the flight response. What's upsetting and worrying and making you feel fearful? It's just, I found it really interesting, especially the flop really one. People keep like, there's this thing called what's it? Is it Sleeping Beauty syndrome or something like that?
Yeah.
Where it's almost like narcolepsy, where you just can't cope You get overwhelmed and go to sleep, you flop.
Yeah.
That's trauma response.
But then I do think I can be a bit like that sometimes. When the stress gets too much, I just can't deal with it. I do think my body just shuts down, or I just, will get sick.
You can train your body to behave in a different way. There's no reason why you should have that response as opposed to a different response, a response that would benefit you.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, say for example, I've got really bad money worries, I've got such bad money worries, I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Right? You could have, I've got really bad money worries. My response is going to be to disrupt it and focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Or my response could be, and all you have to do is just herd yourself, because there's so many ways that the little sheep can go.
Yeah.
Just herd yourself in the right way and know this about yourself. If you feel like you're flagging, because I'm the same. I love a sleep when I'm not feeling, when I feel a bit overwhelmed. I like to go to sleep because it all goes away.
Yeah.
But then it's all there when you wake back up.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll allow myself a little 20-minute like peaceful time just to collect myself. Other times she's traumatized. I'm causing her fear, but I think personally it's so helpful to know that underneath it, what's going on underneath, and then look at that. Don't go, why do I keep wanting to run away every time I'm like, out in a social situation? Think about, why am I scared when I'm in a social situation? Because one time I was attacked, or someone threw a glass and I was hurt, or
someone punched a guy in the
or someone got uppercutted, Tyboed someone, speed bagged him. But yeah, so that was a little bit of info that I found really insightful.
That was really insightful.
Fight, flight, fawn, flop and freeze. Have a look at it, see how it manifests in people as adults, and there's a lot to be learned.
Yes.
From that. Our alarm hasn't even gone off.
You didn't say it.
Yeah, we've got one more minute. 19 minutes. Bish bash bosh. Right.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. We're going to go to the cafe now that does a banging shepherd's pie.
Can't eat shepherd's pie at 12:30.
I absolutely can, and I will. Unless something else tickles my fancy. Thank you. Right, we love you very much. Who says I can't eat?